First of all, I want to mention that absolutely all this information is supposed to come to you completely for free. It shouldn't cost you a dime. Um, you know, not allowed to make any money off of it. Second of all, this information was lost for years, and I'll go into that later. It's just, that's why it took so long to get to you. And this is kind of a difficult thing to do. What it is I'm trying to do is giving this statement. I didn't tell my best friend for the last 23 years until about 2 weeks ago, and I've been, working on this for about a year and a half. Prior to that, I had no proof of its existence. Anyways, here's how it goes. This is my witness statement. When I was 17 years old, we were looking into different types of spiritualities. The New Age movement was pretty strong here in Boise. We were kind of just out looking around and seeing what was going on. My mom's friend Sam, he calls and says, hey, I'm doing some channeling. So, okay, and if you don't know what channeling is when a ghost or a spirit enters a person's body and they talk through them. That's the kind of thing we're expecting to go, maybe participate in. But we show up, and Sam's girlfriend, Marilyn, she says the guardian angels are here. And I feel something pass through my shoulder. It was very tingly and very energetic, and kind of sparkled, and that got my attention. Oh, did it get my attention? So now, I'm interested. I sit down, and lo and behold, Sam starts to channel. Only the beings that are coming through are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, which means this is not channeling, this is prophecy. Wow. I'm sitting around the couch, and I can feel the energy in the room. It's thick. It's this thick. It's wonderful. It feels good. It's peaceful. It's calm. You can feel it. And Sam does his channeling. And so it's over. He's received prophecy. We go home. Well, you have to understand that the kind of person that I am, I didn't look. Now, the type of person I am would have. I'm the kind of person that, I'll go to a graveyard, call out ghosts, live in a haunted house. I love that kind of stuff. I'm okay with that. That's cool, So, I'm curious. I want to know everything. And I didn't look up, right? I sat and I looked at my lap the whole time he was talking. And I couldn't believe I did that. At home, I think, man, if I ever get an opportunity to do that again, I'm going to look. About a week later, we end up back at Sam's house. And Sam starts doing his thing. But this time, I'm going to look. And I did, slowly, with some trepidation. I slowly raised my eyes and looked. And I saw the being that Sam was channeling. I didn't understand what I saw. I wouldn't understand what I saw until I was 41 years old. But I saw. I'm going to tell you what I saw. What I saw was a perfect golden sphere. A golden sphere made of light. Translucent, transparent, with inside of it were little golden balls of light. Where they were, it was a little less transparent. You could see that it was adding up, and that these little balls of light were evenly spaced around inside of this sphere. And here's Sam sitting in his easy chair with a tape recorder going, talking. This is something I'm seeing with my eyes. I can't tell you. I should have been surprised, dumbfounded, scared, anything, but I wasn't. I'm just sitting there looking, and I'm looking, and it's peaceful, and okay, I see it. And And then I looked back down in my lap and listened to the rest of the conversation of Sam's receiving prophecy. After a little bit, we start, after that, we're going back every week to Sam's house for group meditations, group prayer. And on one of these occasions, I start feeling these waves of energy come over me. And it's difficult to breathe against them. I totally felt the need to breathe with them. When the wave comes on, you breathe out. When the wave reaches off, you breathe in, because it's easier that way. But these waves of energy are coming over me. And I get this knowing. I didn't hear instructions. I didn't hear words. I get this knowing that I'm supposed to move my hands like this when I'm breathing. So I'm laying here on Sam's couch. I'm like, let's see. Like that. Well, I start to feel this light come from within my being. It's coming out at what I would call corpuscles. I can feel it. It's almost like little laser beams are being shot out all over the place. And, but when the light from within leaves, it leaves through your skin. It makes your skin kind of like twitch a little bit, tink kind of thing. And it's dancing all over. It's coming out of my being all over the place. There's light from the inside. And it came with passion ecstasy, a pure state of ecstasy. It's absolutely, I'm talking about like the most incredible experience of my entire life. Nothing compares. It doesn't even come close, really. And along with it came an experience that should have surprised me, but it seemed completely natural and totally normal. I felt my chakras for the first time in my life. Where the chakras were, the light that was kind of corpuscling out from deep within me was extra concentrated, like 2-3 times more dense in the areas where the chakras were. And so that was part of the experience. And you think that's not exactly a Christian type experience, but that's the way it was. Now, what you have to understand is that Sam, Sam actually picked up and took off. I got to have that experience 2 more times. One time at Carmen's house with Marilyn's daughter Karen, and another time. But it's kind of a strange deal. Now, when I had it the first time, shortly after that, it was all over. Me and my mother got up to leave, and as we left from the door to the car, I looked up and I saw the sky. It was nighttime. There were stars everywhere, and I knew that there was consciousness out there, whether it was the sun or beings on the other planet or whatever it was. I knew there was consciousness. And instantaneously, not instantaneous, it happened in succession, but I knew that there was consciousness there, and that consciousness knew that I knew that it knew that I knew it was there and conscious. And I have to tell you, it's a profound thing. It was instantaneous, tick, 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 boom, and I knew. And according to physics, that was incredibly fast, or the speed of light. The star that we're looking at isn't actually there. So how is this possible? It was the experience. That's what I'm sharing. The next time I had it, it was at Carmen's house. And when I left Carmen's house, It was daytime. And we were up by Simplot's mansion here in Boise, and the experience that I had when I walked outside was the awareness of consciousness. For a moment, it was like a glimpse of what it's like to be omnipresent, to be in all things, which is described in the Word of Now. But I can tell you what the experience is like. It's like everything in existence has emanations, like the vibrations from things as they vibrate in their existence, they emanate. And when it comes into you, when all things come into you, you take all things into yourself. And he talks about that in the Word too. You experience it as consciousness. To me, in that moment, the foothill right in front of that house was consciousness. Not conscious as it's self-aware, but was consciousness itself. All of the plant life along the road that went out there, there's this water container. All of the plant life along the road emanated a statement of being, emanated a statement of a statement of being, and it comes into you. You take it in, and you become conscious that everything is conscious. Everything is consciousness. It's really quite a profound moment. But the last time I had that experience, I thought something was going to happen, and so I said it. I said, "Hey, are you ready for this?" That's what I said, and it stopped immediately. I'm not exactly sure why, but it just boom, it was over. It just left me, and that would actually be the last time I had that experience ever, because shortly after that, Sam looked at me and he said, "You're not supposed to be in two places at the same time." I still don't know what that means. Like why he said that for. I still don't understand that. But shortly after that, him and his family picked up and moved away. Now, I just figured that the beings that were coming to see him would continue to come and see us. So he's got to leave, okay? But I was wrong. And that's because I did not understand what it meant to have a covenant. All prophets have covenants. I don't have one. I'm not a prophet. I've never prophesied anything a day in my life that came true, so, when he left, he took his covenant with him, and it was done. And I remember being angry at him for leaving. And that sucked. But what we had done while we were participating in this time is we had taken all of his tapes and translated them. We'd listened to the tapes and typed them into a Commodore 64 and printed out what was on the tapes. And we gave the tapes back to him. We gave a copy of the printout to him. Well, we kept a copy for ourselves. But, in the misunderstanding of all of it, being maybe mad at him for leaving or whatever, or waiting for them to come talk to us instead of him, the books were placed in a box and lost. And for the life of me, we couldn't remember what was on them. What was on those tapes? Couldn't tell you. Couldn't remember. Remembered the experience, but not what was on the tapes. And lost the tapes, lost the books. The books were in a box. But my mom had gone to Oklahoma, and she'd been gone for like 13 years. And her house, she lost her house, and my sister moved what she could save of my mom's into a storage building. My mom comes back, and she's looking through all of what's left of her house and her storage, and these books are found. They're in one of the boxes my sister saved. So I'm talking about this stuff all the time because I remembered that experience. How could you forget it? And my mom, after she finds these books, she brings one to me. I start reading it. I've never read it before. It was lost before I ever read it. It just disappeared, But as I'm reading through it, I see descriptions of this experience that I've had throughout the whole book. There's different places where it gives different pieces of the description of that experience, which told me that experience was absolutely meant for people to have. That's something that we should all have, I think. And as I'm also reading through it, I'm also finding instructions. The instructions for achieving that state of being permanently. What? You gotta be kidding me. I about split my skin. Wow. And so I become a detective, and I go through every single line of that book, and I pull out every piece of instruction I can find. And as I'm going through it, and I'm pulling out these instructions, I find that there is a question that they don't exactly give you, that you have to ask. So you have to look inside, get the question, and get the answer, and then get the answer to the question, and then do what the instructions tell you to do with it. Well, I'm through it about the 7th time, and I'm a little frustrated. And my mom, I go to my mom's house, and she hands me the pink books, the 2 big pink books. The big pink book has an extra about half an inch or so of text that wasn't in the big blue book, the first book I was reading through. And the little pink book has documents that neither one of the other 2 have. And these are very important. They are put in the beginning of the Word of Now online. They're with it. And after reading these instructions, after reading these, the stuff that came in the pink book, the pieces started to come together. I read through it at 8th time. Thought for sure I had gotten the answer. Read through it a 9th time, and found absolute proof I was wrong. And then the 10th time through it, I think, the 9th or 10th time through it, I got it. Right? I got it. I figured it out. I knew it. I knew I had the answer. I had the question I was supposed to ask, and I asked it, and I got my answer. And I'm not going to tell you what that is right away. Eventually I'll have to, because it has to become a part of the discussion. But for now, and I'll warn you before I say anything, because you really have to understand. That experience was incredibly profound for me, because I did what it told me to. And I received the truth and the Word and the Father's fire, just like I was promised. It's kind of hard to explain. What I experienced was, after I followed through on the instructions, after I got the answer, I received something about the size of a quarter right between my shoulder blades, and perfectly round. The skin tingled, started to tingle instantly, and it lasted for about 4 days. But immediately after I got that answer, something strange, I confirmed it with the Bible. Kind of blew me away, because I'm not really a Bible reader, but I immediately Googled the answer and confirmed it on several levels. The Bible confirms the answer to the question. And then I followed the instructions, and that's when I got the tingle. I received it. And it's kind of incredible, really. But I would recommend you read it and figure that out for yourself, because I'm going to tell you something. When the answer comes from inside, like that, it comes with faith. Okay? Not blind faith, actual faith in the answer. The belief comes with it. It's invaluable. Okay? That kind of faith. And then to have it confirmed by the Bible afterwards, that was an incredibly profound moment for me. Okay, a powerful, powerful moment, and it really did change everything for me overnight. So I would recommend it if that's the way you do it. And you don't wait for me to bring it up in a later video. You'll be waiting a while. Because it's just that important. I don't want to deny someone the opportunity by giving the answer too soon. And I'll warn you before I give it, so that you can turn it off so you can figure it out on your own, because that's something you really want. But, okay. So, after I received the truth and the word of the Father's fire, and I thought, a while goes by, and I'm laying in bed, I'm watching Neil deGrasse Tyson's The Cosmos, he's talking about filaments, and I get these tingles on the side of my face, and I get that knowing to do that thing with my hand, and I start doing it. And although I did not get to go to that original place that I did when I was 17, and the experience wasn't quite the same. It had different elements that experience didn't have. Powerful, powerful energies and currents moving around my shoulders, through my hands, out my feet. I managed to make it outside doing the experience, and when I stepped onto the ground with my bare feet, just the amount of energy is boom, boom, was like triple to double. It was just bam, bam. It was crazy. But the experience was intense, and it was solid. It was so real. I felt my chakras again for the first time in a very long time, and that was amazing. And so I'm starting this process of that, and over time, though, every time I did it, it would be a little different. An element that hadn't been there before would be placed there, or an element that had been there before was removed, and that's a process I'm going to talk about in a later video, because that starts the journey of what it is I've learned since then. So that's kind of that's a powerful thing that happened, And so I'm going to recommend that you read that. It's free, do what you got to do. But I realize that it might be kind of a hard thing to believe, or a hard thing to kind of swallow, but I felt it powerful need to share the truth with you as I knew it, and that's the truth. Thank you.